Jace, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm cubing.
No, Jace, it's Commander Cube that we're talking about today.
Not Rubik's Cube.
What do you mean?
It's Commander Cube. Like
Commander.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this show fucking sucks, Jace.
who even watched this shit?
Wait. It gets better after the 27th season.
Jace, what are you doing?
Cubing.
No, it's Commander
Cube, not Rubik's Cube.
Commander
you
Cube
fucking
on
idiot.
the show today.
Dude, I spent $30 on this thing.
Well,
You got ripped off.
I'm Rafa.
I'm Derek, and I'm concerned.
And I'm Jase.
And today on Kitchen Table Cable, we're talking about Commander Cube. Now, Jace, being the one who owns the Commander Cube in our playgroup, what is Cube in general?
Yeah.
A cube.
Actually, the correct term is not the one who owns the Commander Cube. It is Father Cuber.
So, Father Cuber.
Okay.
What does it mean?
What is a cube?
What is a
What does
cube?
it mean to cube? So,
What is a cube? Let's back up. What is a cube?
What is a cube?
All right. What is a cube? Well, first place, a cube is a set of cards, right? It could be your
Nope.
favorite cards.
It is a three-dimensional object
God damn it.
God
where
damn
each
it.
side. Okay.
Seriously, so Magic
Seriously,
Cube.
what is a magic cube?
Cubing
So,
in general.
A cube is a curated set of cards. It could be your favorite cards. It could be cards from a specific set that you like or whatever.
Okay.
And it is meant to emulate a draft format.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. What does the word emulate mean?
You know, basically be a draft.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're creating your own set to draft from, and you have your own rules or whatever. And, you know, you could just follow the basic rules of drafting. Or
Sure.
Okay, and so what does it mean to create a Commander Cube?
A Commander Cube. So a Commander Cube is pretty similar to a regular cube, except you're drafting Commander. It's just like Commander Legends, right?
Yeah,
You are
Okay.
drafting
20 cards per pack.
20 cards per pack, everything. You are drafting in order to build a 60-card Commander deck
For a limited environment.
for a
okay.
limited environment.
Okay. So, what's the difference? Like, how do you build a commander cube differently from a regular cube? Besides, obviously, we're playing commander.
Yeah. So you gotta
Obviously, it's singleton.
Mhm.
The cube is singleton anyway. That doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
But besides that, like,
Yeah.
how do you build it differently than?
Well, obviously the numbers matter a lot more, specifically in legendary creatures, right? In a normal cube, you're not really keeping track, right? You're like, okay, this Adeline's good for my format. This, that, right? But you're not. In Commander Cube, you actually have to consider the amount of legends in order to how much, like how easy you want your format to be.
Mhm.
To
Makes
build
sense,
decks.
because obviously those can be your commanders.
Yeah,
right.
So you have to
Okay.
draft.
Yeah,
the
you have to
Commander.
pay attention
Fair.
to the numbers, right?
Okay. And
Because in my first iteration of the Commander Cube, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a
It was
rough,
bad.
it's been a whole journey to bring it to the version that it is now.
Okay.
But in the first version of the Commander Cube, in a 270 card cube, a 200 something around there were 70 legends in the cube.
Jesus Christ.
Because me and Rafa, we were picking out through his bulk and like, okay, we're building Commander Cube, and we just kept coming off these commanders out. We never ended up building the decks, but we wanted to see in a limited environment, and we ended up with like 70 of them. We're like, okay, well, we have this threshold of cards. Now let's see how it goes.
Mhm.
It was not.
It did not
It,
go.
it
Did not go that well.
did not go that well.
Okay. Okay. So, talk to me about why you built your cube.
Well, I mean, I've always been interested in cube. It's not really a big group of people, but in our playgroup, there's like a select 6 or 7 people who are, people who enjoy cubing. We've got a buddy, his name is Pat, and he has his own cube. He's had it for 5-6 years at this point.
Right. His is kind of your traditional vintage.
It's like a traditional
It's
vintage,
a power
legacy.
cube kind
Got
of thing,
proxies
right?
and
Like-
things in it.
Yeah, there's no actual power diamond, but there's like Mox Diamond and Cradle and all that stuff in there.
Okay.
So yeah, so he's been curating that cube for a while, and I've always wanted to build a cube. I've tried out cubes before when I built my very stupid and very dumb 1/1 only cube.
That was fun.
It was fun, but
Wait,
not
it
It
was
great.
fun?
Fun for
Was
like
it fun?
one.
Fun for
game.
one time.
Was it?
And then
was
we-
it
then he took it
fun?
apart.
It wasn't
I think
great.
the
It was.
idea was fun.
It was all about how to cheat the idea of a 1/1 cube, though,
Yeah.
which
I
defeats
feel like
the
that
purpose
wasn't
of
the
building a
spirit.
1/1.
That wasn't the
Allosaurus
spirit.
Shepherd with no other creatures is a 1/1.
That's true. It is, and that one's perfectly fine. But Trostani Summoner is not a 1/1.
Not a 1/1.
I mean, it's a 1/1.
It's a 1/1,
Yeah.
Derek.
But you make 3. It's 4 creatures. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. So we tried that about, I
Okay.
think, 2 years. It's been almost 2 years at this point.
Mhm.
And then, so, I've always wanted a cube. That failed. I was pretty bummed out that it didn't go the way I wanted it to. And I was like, okay, well, I've always been thinking of ways to make a cube before. and I've never really. And what sparked my interest for the first part was I watched a Game Nights video, Brandon Sanderson's cube,
Mhm.
and like, of course, I had been thinking of a Commander cube before then, but that was what really meant. Okay, I want to sit down and do this. So actually, me and Rafa were at a little mini convention selling some of our collection, and we just had our bulk and all our trade binder cards and stuff pulled out in front of us,
Okay.
and we're like, okay, Rafa, would it be cool if we just built a Commander cube? And it was like, hell yeah, Jace, let's start building a Commander cube, because we had 4 hours to just sit there and do nothing. So why not be
Oh, at the
productive?
convention itself?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay.
So we started digging through the stacks of bulk that we had set up to sell to people, and we put together
You brought bulk to sell and you're just like pulling shit out.
That's
Yeah,
You're
that's
like,
what it-
nah,
that's
we're
what
gonna
it-
keep.
That's how it
what
went.
was.
That's how it went.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
And we pulled out like 270 cards. Like, okay, well, this is our Commander cube. Rafa tried counting. I was like, nah, let's just get. I want a rough version of this thing. And I think that was, honestly, I think that's a really useful way to build your cube. Is you have a rough version of it. Like you just
And you
want
just
to
slowly tweak it.
you slowly
Yeah.
tweak it over
Okay.
time. Like I feel like that was really helpful in helping me learn how to do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So we know why you built it. We know how you built it. Ish. Kind of some iterations. So let's talk about why cube is a fun way to play Commander specifically.
True. I mean,
Right,
we talked
regular
about
cube
in
kinda makes
like
sense.
our first episode about us that we are, we're big limited players as well, and so playing
Yeah.
drafting a Commander draft, Commander Legends, Baldur's Gate, Commander Masters if you can afford it.
$50.
We like doing that, and we also like building Commander decks. That's why part of why we have a show together, and why we have so many Commander decks. Mine are all right there. So sitting down with a list of cards, and then drafting an impromptu Commander deck can be challenging. It can also be really fun and interesting. What about you guys?
I mean, yeah, me personally, I love Limited's my favorite format. And again, like you said, first episode we kind of talked about it. And Commander's my second favorite. And so mixing the two is like perfect, right? It's great. The primary reasons why I really like cubing, and I mean, to be fair, we've done Pat's Cube a few times, and it's fun. I've cubed, in the past before, years ago too. And it's always fun, especially powered cubes. It's cool to do all the really broken shit. Like, cool. That's super awesome. So we've done Pat's Cube a handful of times. We did 1/1 cube once. I think somebody else has a cube that we did once or something like that.
Band cube is cool.
This one's been a lot more. It's been a lot more fun to play, but it's been a lot more, not resilient, but like I want to play it more than the others.
Yeah.
Right. Doing it once or twice, I could continue to do it and it would be great every single time. Right. The big thing that I like about it is I get to play those commanders that I had never built a deck for, but seemed really fun to play for whatever reason, right?
That's a sentiment I get
different
from
times.
a lot of people who I've
Yeah.
played with in the cube.
So it's like at different times we have restrictions on what decks we play or we can build or whatever, the 32 deck challenge kind of thing, right? Been through that a couple different times, and so it's like, oh, I like Mimeoplasm is really cool, but I already have a Sultai deck or I already have a graveyard deck, so I don't really want to build it, and I don't, and it's whatever, and then you do the cube and you're like, oh cool, I still get to do this thing, I still get to try it out. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's why I really enjoy it, right? You get to do something different. Get to play the commanders that you never really played before, or those that in a regular we just walk up to a table, we sit down and we play, and they're not quite good enough, or maybe not quite as powerful enough, or however you want to look at it, right? And you kind of get to do all that stuff, and of course mix that with it's different every single time. Even if you choose the same commander every single draft, your decks are still different every single time. It's fantastic.
I agree.
Super
All right.
fun.
Yeah. So it's
Super
definitely
cool.
it's another way to play Commander. Like if you're thinking about, okay, do I want to build 10 decks to play Commander with, or do I want to build
One cube.
one cube? That's a consideration, right?
That's true.
I'm not going to tell you which you should do, but I'm just going to show you that there is this option.
Both.
Well,
Both.
But yeah, I mean, it's no additional cost, right? I mean,
Yeah.
sure, upgrading your cube and stuff like that. It's kind of the sunk cost thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like if I'm building, if I want to build a commander cube that supports 8 people, right? We need 480 cards.
Yeah.
Right, we need 480 cards, and so even if you drop down 480 cards, you get 480 cards one time, and then that's it. And with 8 people, that's 2 commander pods. if you get all 8, that's 2 full pods of 4. So everything's different every time, and you could do it 100 times, and it's gonna be different every single time.
I feel like 500 is a good number because you have 20 flex slots that aren't.
Extra.
That way you don't always have the same cards in the.
That's
in the
true.
draft
That's
pool.
true, which is kind of cool, right? And it's kind of cool to see, like, after we draft it and we play and stuff, whenever we're all done, we do our pod or whatever, we look through and we go, oh, what didn't make it this time? You look through and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that Arcane Signet didn't make it in, and I didn't even realize that, yada, yada. That kind of stuff, too. So, yeah, I mean, I like the extra flex slots. I think it really works. Again, making the environment different every single time definitely does that. So, what about you? Anything to add?
No, I think
Why it's fun? Okay, so if you would have to choose one limited environment to build your cube around, right? Obviously, Commander, you don't really, but you do have to make choices. So how do you decide what cards go in the cube?
So that is a very personal thing and a huge thing too, right? For me, it was for me and Rafa, we were talking about 10 themes. We had written down 10 themes that we want to incorporate into these 2-color pairs that could be combined, like mixed and matched with the signpost 3-color commanders. That was the goal of the original version of the cube. So we came up with discard because discard is really good with like black-white reanimator. But yeah.
What the hell?
So.
Sorry.
So
you just alley-ooped it, man. I was ready to go. Okay, so discard.
Marissa?
Which card?
Cut that
Discard.
out.
So discard fits pretty well together with black-white reanimator because you're discarding stuff into the graveyard to reanimate.
Okay,
So
sure.
our Mardu commander, therefore, is something that deals with reanimator and is pretty good when you discard stuff. Right?
Okay, I like it.
So it's Kroxa and Kurnos in our specific case.
Right. Okay.
So
sure.
there's that as well, and there's also your favorite cards also have an influence because when you're making a cube, it's very you, right? There are elements of you and your soul that go into the cube. So say your favorite card is Sphinx of the Second Sun. My favorite card is Sphinx of the Second Sun.
Oh God.
It went into the cube, and I'm like, okay, well, what can I do around a Sphinx of the Second Sun? Obviously, Reanimator, right? Goes in some of the Reanimator decks.
I would have thought like extra upkeeps.
I mean,
There's not enough support for that theme.
Come on, Paradox Haze. Let's go.
There's one other card deck.
there's at least one more that does it.
But that creature, I was thinking that creature is flying, so the blue-white deck is a flyers deck.
Okay, sure.
So yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
So it's definitely very personal. Another thing that goes into cards you're putting in your deck is how many
your cube or your deck?
in your cube. Sorry,
Okay,
is
sure.
how many colors you want the average deck to have. In the original version of the cube, we had all the 2-color partners. Like we had like 15 2-color partners in there, and a lot of the decks devolved in these 4-color piles where you just picked all the best cards. There's very little synergy. Just
You're talking about the 2-color partner commanders.
yeah, 2-color partner
Oh,
commanders.
true. That's something you need to
right.
preface with your commander cube is that
Yeah.
the partner rule,
Is
so
different.
partner with, and choose
Yeah.
a background are all interchangeable. So they
Yeah.
can all be partnered with
Friends
each other.
forever.
Friends
all that
Forever, all
All those
partner
mechanics that
type
allow you to
mechanics
have extra
are
commanders.
all interchangeable.
You
However,
can use those together.
There's also
Right.
another rule because of the thing I'm about to talk about.
okay, so
And that
because
is,
of that,
you cannot have two-color commanders.
the partners. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I mean, it definitely the first couple of times we did it, it was really we pretty much either you played two-color partners and you just took all the good cards, or if you happen to get one 3-color commander that you got to do all the good stuff for you. It was basically that one of those two options, right? It was either you got the signpost 3-color commander and you got all the cards for it and you were good to go, or you just took all good cards and 4 colors and you took 2 partners and.
And that's not a fun format. If you want to play just good
just
stuff,
kinda.
play CH.
Yeah, it just kind of devolved, and of course we took out the 5-color commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There was
There was two different
right?
ones that ended up being in there, and they were both busted as fuck.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, so taking out the 5-color ones, right? Because it's just again,
it makes drafting
if you
too easy.
if you grab the 5-color commander, you just grab all the good cards that come through.
100%.
Right, you just grab all the good cards.
In the
right?
original
So I
version of the
like-
cube, there was Joda and 70 legends
yeah,
in the cube.
right,
So-
right. And so it's like Commander Masters did it really well, where it was 1-color partners, and that when it was a draft format.
We
right,
did test that
1-color
out
partners.
recently. It felt very similar to the regular version, but I feel like there's more options. It
Well,
didn't feel too broken.
True.
Yeah.
I did like it, and I liked it when we did in Commander Masters as well.
Yeah.
It opened up a lot, It opened up a lot.
Open up a lot.
Opened up a lot.
Another thing to talk about choices and putting in your cube is Soul Ring was in the original version. Now it's not.
Agreed.
Card is too good.
So like that balance of like good cards versus like,
right. So
commander
it's
playables.
And sure, it happens in limited. You're drafting. You open up packs. You open up the Craterhoof Behemoth and just draft green. Sure, right. But because of how the environment plays, it's not that much of that. Not that big of a deal. Not that much of a difference.
Right.
In Commander though. If somebody gets a Soul Ring, it's already good to play a Soul Ring on turn 1 in your regular Commander deck. You're already right. It's definitely probably the best card in the Commander format. In Limited, it's just so much
right
more
off to the races.
egregious.
The best card in Commander format is Snow-Covered Mountain.
Yeah, but basically like
I would have accepted Mana Crypt or Jeweled Lotus, but only those two.
What about Jeweled Amulet? Do you know what that card does?
No.
Neither
you
do
can put
I.
You can put charge.
Is that a real card?
Yeah,
it's a
probably.
It's in my Mario deck.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So it is a 0-drop artifact that does nothing.
Yeah. It makes mana though.
If you pay one in your main phase or something. But anyway,
I got you. Okay.
Card like
Okay.
in the early days of the cube, it was like, okay, who got the Soul Ring? We gotta kill them.
Yeah, basically, right? Somebody plays Soul Ring on turn 1, and and it's like if you draft the Soul Ring and you open it into your opening hand, you want to play it on turn 1, but if you play it on turn 1, you die.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just how it is because it's
It
that
also
good.
feels really bad when drafting. You see these cool cards, you're like, okay, I'm seeing a deck coming together, and you open your second pack. There's 2 cards that fit your theme, and then there's a Soul Ring in the back of the pack.
Yeah.
And you can't not take it. That's
Soul
true.
Ring, yeah, it just
That's true.
became.
So yeah, I mean, there's a handful of them, right? Some of the 2-color partners were too good. Again, at one point we took out all the 2-color partners, put some of them back in with the caveat that you can't take 2 of the 2-color partners.
Yeah.
You know, Crom and another 1-color partner is not that great, but Crom with Thrasios
and all that
and
shit
you know, I mean,
so
that's
good.
a 3-color, but still, you know, all these really good. There's a reason why all the 2-color commanders, or most of the 2-color commanders, are basically all your really high-end CEDH deck because they're great.
Yeah.
They're great. Having 2 commanders in the command zone is you start with 2 additional cards at hand, basically. And when you get Ikra Crom, or you get Timna Crom, or it's so good.
Definitely another
So
thing we
good.
did with the cube that we upgraded over time is we took out all of the auto picks. Like the cards that were just too good that you could not pass.
Okay.
That's true. I mean, Soul Ring was one of those. as
Yeah,
well.
so
Okay.
I'm not talking about like good cards that are, I cannot pass this card, it's good for my deck. I'm talking about like cards that were so generically good that it was not the right choice.
To not take them?
To not take them.
Like what?
Commander Sphere.
No.
Ooh, okay.
But like Soul Ring was one of them.
Okay.
There was another really good one that I picked all the time.
Portal Defrexia was huge.
Galta was also one of those.
Galta was huge.
Oh, Galta's not in the cube anymore?
I don't think
No,
so.
Galta's still in the cube.
Galta's
but
still in the
cube?
She's one of those offenders. Like she's so good.
Is she though?
If you're in green,
I don't think you would take her over any card that's in the pack though. There are plenty of cards that I would take over Galta. Sure, if I'm playing Green Stompy and like I have some pretty big creatures.
So
sure.
yeah, we're not talking about.
I take it early and I can build around it, maybe. But there's a lot of cards that I would pick.
True, we
for
took the
Galta.
Titans out as well.
Yeah.
The Titans make sense. Okay, yeah. Ulamog being in there didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Plus the double-sided one, you could see through the shitty sleeves.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just the fault of the sleeves.
Yeah.
Jace. I don't know why you got yellow.
I ordered new
for the
sleeves, bro.
cube.
Come on.
But okay, so all the egregious stuff that everybody picked, regardless of what was in the pack.
We're not talking about stuff
some of it
that's
came out.
auto-pick in certain circumstances. We're talking about cards that, if you're in a certain set of colors and you
have
look
to
at them,
take it.
you have to take them.
Yeah. I got you.
I got you. That makes sense.
True.
That makes
You know what
sense.
also makes sense, Derek?
What?
Going to a commercial
Commercial break.
Hey,
Kitchen Table Cable is sponsored by Force of Will Gaming. For all your gaming needs, visit downtown Bastrop's premier gaming store. And also by viewers like you. Thank you.
And
Okay.
welcome back.
did you guys see that commercial? It's pretty legit.
It was pretty legit, man.
Yeah.
Pretty legit.
I got pretty wet there.
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold
Wait. Okay, we gotta restart.
Wait a minute.
We
What do you mean we
gotta
gotta restart?
restart.
No, we're keeping that shit.
Fuck, dude. What were we talking about, Derek?
Out of context, they'll never know. With context, I hope they know.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. I hate you.
We sound like crackheads in some
I
random
hate
person,
you.
dude.
Jesus.
What's our next topic?
first picks and draft approach.
Yeah.
First
And then why
picks.
you should build cube, which we kind of talked
We
about.
kind of
already.
talked about why you should build
talk about
the
why you
cube.
should build a cube. So
Okay,
let's just do first picks and draft approach.
And then we got to
because-
do something else, depending on time.
Yeah.
Well, we have the cube with us.
Okay.
Why don't we go through a pack?
Grab,
All right.
yeah. Oh hell yeah.
And we're back.
No.
We've been back.
Oh, well,
We've been back.
are they watching us this whole time?
Jace, why are you watching a video of Link skateboarding?
He's just skateboarding in. All right.
just-
I got
I
my
don't,
phone
want
take
you guys to
pictures.
see my pack.
All right.
All right, let's
Before we
go.
open
I'll go
it. Give me your
first.
phone. All right.
And
We're
back.
back.
While we're on commercial break, we went ahead and grabbed 3 random packs from the cube, and we're kind of gonna go through, talk about how we approach drafting the cube in general, and go through some first picks on our packs, and kind of debate and talk about them, and kind of see what's up.
true. And those of you listening audio only, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be a little
Google
bit-
is your friend, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
We will try our best
we'll
to say cards and give you as much context as we can.
Yeah.
If you really can't handle it, go to YouTube,
YouTube.
where you can watch this video at our channel, Kitchen Table Cable.
Kitchen cable.
Yeah.
Cable.
Okay. All right, Rafa, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, let's have
So
Rafa
let's
kick it
talk about
off.
our approach to drafting cube in general.
So in Commander Cube, I approach it. I try to find a commander early.
Okay.
And I try to find colors that I
interesting.
can be in early.
Okay.
Because most people are doing something similar. But if
Okay.
I have that commander, I don't have to worry about it in later packs.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
And so, like in my pack, my first thing I see is this Shalai that we all saw.
Ooh,
I
Okay.
see a Shalai. I also
Good
see a Llanowar Elves.
Okay.
I also see a Rune of the Hidden Realm,
Okay.
which I also really like.
Rune's
And this pack is very green-whitey.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
So there's a lot of interesting things here. So whenever whenever I go to pick, I probably go with the 2 creatures
Do
that
you want to go through everything that's in the pack?
I
that
can go
maybe-
through everything
Maybe
in the
people
pack.
who are listening that know the cards can.
That might be better. I've got
Okay.
a Shalai of Voice of the Plenty. I got Boon Bringer Valkyrie, Rune of the Hidden Realm, the Underworld Cookbook, Llanowar Elves, Arcane Sanctum, Painful Truths, Font of Magic, Lelia, the Blade Reforged, Aralmi of the Dead Tide, Serum Visions, Nakadal War Pride, Ukima, the Stalking Shadow, Chrome Host Seed Shark, Battlefield Forge, Thalise, Reverend Medium, Fire and Ice, Venerated Loxodon, Rug of Smothering, and Overwhelming Stampede.
Ooh.
It is
This
it
is-
is really heavy green
It's
white.
heavy green white, and
Interesting
so
pack though. There's some good cards in there.
yeah, there's some good cards, and especially good cards in other colors.
Yeah.
So if somebody else isn't in green white, then I know I'll get at least some of them back. So my first 2 picks, and in Commander Draft, you pick 2 cards out of the pack.
Two
Yeah.
cards
Instead
per
of
pack, so
just
you
the
take
one.
2.
And these are
Okay.
20 card packs.
Correct.
20 card packs.
My immediate eye is brought to some bombs in Shalai, Voice of Plenty, and the Boon Bringer Valkyrie.
Ooh.
Okay.
Boonbringer has been. It seems
It's
so
just-
innocuous, but it's been
Interesting.
so good in every.
It
cube
is
game I've seen it in.
a way better Sarah Angel,
Okay. Sure.
and it gives
The
somebody
backup
else.
is a real
Yeah,
thing.
it gives
for
somebody
sure.
else the
good.
ability to become a Sarah Angel. So
Yep.
you play Shalai on turn 4, she becomes a Sarah Angel on turn 5 with
Yep.
Boonbringer Valkyrie.
Okay.
Flying First Strike Lifelink. She usually got life flying, but
Yeah.
First Strike Lifelink is really good. Plus a +1/+1 counter.
Okay.
So those are my picks for
So those are your first picks.
Those are your
my first picks and my
Okay.
thought process. Of
I would tell you.
the
Okay.
big flyers, especially in limited, even in
Ooh,
Commander
they're so
Draft,
good.
in
Yeah,
limited
yeah.
in limited is what will win you games.
I would tell you
Okay.
that is not at all what I would pick from that pack.
Okay,
What
so
would you pick from this pack, Jace?
so before Jace, we'll make it easy, right? Before Jace, because I'm on the same wavelength of Rafa. I slam the Shalai,
Yeah.
100%, right?
Mhm.
And I know I'm playing green white.
Mhm.
I know I'm playing. I love Shalai. She's so good. She's in my Angels deck, right? Yeah, if you get her down and they don't deal with her immediately, she takes over the game.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
She takes over the game.
I need to put one of these in my league deck.
However, and Boombringer Valkyrie is a great card,
Mhm.
and it fits really well in the theme. But the 2 picks that I would take before the Valkyrie are Llanowar Elves, and the pick that I would actually pick, Nakata War Pride.
I do love.
Ooh,
I love
War
this
Pride
card.
is so
I've
good.
never actually been able to play it.
See, I've done it many times, and it's in like my wife's Ren and Seri deck,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
great. It's basically a finisher. That card's busted.
Mhm.
I've never, every single time I've played it, it has won the game, right, hands down. And sometimes it's too slow, and sometimes you can't play it. But yeah, it's so good. But yeah, so essentially those are kind of the 4 things that I would look at out of the pack. I would in my opinion, right, I'm taking Shalai and I'm taking one of these 3 other cards.
Yeah.
Probably the War Pride to make sure I grab it.
Mhm.
Because it can go in any green deck, and then hope that the Valkyrie or the Elf and something else wheels.
It is a good finisher, and Shalai gives it hexproof.
Right. But
So-
my approach is kind of the same as yours. Is I take a commander as early as possible.
Yeah.
As early as possible. Which
guys-
is weird,
Yeah.
right? Because in a regular draft, I don't choose my color until about 4 to 5 picks in minimum. Right? I spend the first 4 to 5 packs. I just take the best card out of the pack, no matter what the color is, no matter what it does. I just take the best card out of each pack, and then whenever I start seeing other stuff come by, then I kind of get in my lane. In this, I take a commander as early as possible.
Yeah, and it's really because you
Nabbing.
have to.
Yeah,
have your
nabbing
colors.
a commander early is great. Sometimes you can wait and you'll get some here and there, but like that's a free card in your opening hand. If I can guarantee I have a Shalai every single game, boom, done.
All right,
done.
Now you guys are really
but-
on the wavelength of green-white in this pack, and I feel like that is a fair
Okay.
route to go down.
Okay.
What
I
I'm
have
more
an
interested
idea what he's gonna pick.
is Around Me
I
and
knew
Serum
it. Serum
Visions.
Visions. I knew it. I don't know why I
Fucking-
knew it.
So those are the two main ones, and then a backup would be just Painful Truth. It's a good.
Okay. So is that
good
with
card.
the goal in mind that you want to play Around Me as a commander, or you just
No,
want
just
to
a goal to
secure a
secure-
blue-black blue-black cards?
Blue-black
essentially?
cards, basically.
Okay.
But I mean,
Interesting.
without the Painful Truths, it's basically just playing Around Me as commander because Around Me's so great. I love Around Me. She was
Around
good
Me's
in
great.
Commander Legends Limited, and she's great in my cube.
Yep.
So I
Okay.
don't know.
I got you. I got
All
you.
right. Interesting.
And
Alright.
I'd understand with the thing being there's so much green white in that pack that the signal would be in green white.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
'Cause
nobody's taking
some of
these
it's gonna
good
come
blue
back.
cards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but right, because if Rafa passes to you and you take Around Me and Serum Visions, basically you're just guaranteeing that you're gonna get some of that white or green stuff back.
Exactly. All right, let's
Right.
go
And
to
if Rune comes back, I mean maybe
Oh,
you
yeah.
snag
Oh,
that as a
I
just in
love
case,
Rune.
right?
if there's
As a
good
just in
blue in the
case.
pack, I know there's a rune coming around.
Right. Yeah.
I might also snag Rune, but it's just depending on how I'm feeling.
It just depends.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What do you
Okay,
got
so
there?
my pack, this is gonna be a hard pick. This is gonna be a hard pack, right? So I have Command Tower,
Okay.
Ooh,
which
shit.
is always
Okay.
hard,
Mhm.
right? I have Warnog Riders, Chaplain, In the Trenches, Suspend, Goblin Crater Maker, Ember Cleave, Invasion of Mercadia, Chromatic Lantern, Echo of Eons, Rhythm of the Wild, Ovika, Enigma Goliath, Gear Repair, Aether Grid, Vessel, Goldcaller Gisa, Dig Through Time, Crom, Ludovic's Opus, Jin Cataxis, Phyrexian Metamorph, Boros Signet, and Underrealm Lich. And this is a very hard pack.
Yeah.
This is a
There's
very
a lot
hard
of
pack.
bombs in that.
There's
pack.
a lot of really good cards in here. Right.
I
So
do Crom Command Tower, but that's just my first instinct.
there's a lot of good.
No, I'm Crom Jinkataxis.
There's a
Crom
lot
gets
of
access,
good
Okay.
Like if this was my
ways that you can go. Like I love picking up an early command tower,
Mhm.
so I'm hard pressed to not take command tower. Chromatic Lantern is always fantastic as
Yeah.
Then
well.
you stay open.
realistically, you're
And then
in
you
you're
stay
in
open,
2
right?
colors
But,
at minimum.
Yeah, at minimum, right? 2
It's
colors
really
at
hard
minimum,
to
3
monocolor
colors
draft.
at maximum, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of this pack, I'm taking a commander as early as possible, so I'm gonna take Crom
Mhm.
for sure. And then I think my second pick is between Command Tower, Chromatic Lantern, and Phyrexian Metamorph.
I got you.
They're all really good cards. I know I'm gonna be 3 colors with Crom, so Chromatic Lantern is fantastic. Command Tower again, fantastic. Mana bases aren't that big of a deal in limited as they are in regular Commander, but having that tri-land for free is really good. And it might be the wrong choice. I definitely value my mana bases over a lot of other people, especially in limited.
Yeah.
Even regular limited. I love mana fixing. I like being able to cast my spells versus having the best spells. Consistency is kind of key with limited. So
I got
that's
you.
usually where I lean. But yeah, so that's probably, and if I were to actually choose, yeah, I'm probably taking Crom and the Chromatic Lantern,
I got you.
guaranteeing
'cause you
myself
can
in
turn
3
5.
colors.
You can turn 5 Crom too. I mean,
It
turn
is a
4
mana
Crom.
rock, right? It is an
Mhm.
accelerant. It makes all my lands tap for any color. I know I'm in 3 colors, and so yeah.
I got you.
And there's a lot of blue in there, so some of that blue is gonna come back, some of the red's gonna come back,
Exactly.
and then depending on what goes in the next 3 to 7 packs, depending on how many people are in the cube. If I grab a third color by then potentially some of those will come back as well.
Yeah. All right, I'm definitely on the same wavelength as you, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's Slam Crom. Command
Slam
Tower.
Crom and Command
Slam
Tower.
Crom
okay.
Command
See?
Tower, that's
I
not-
don't think
Crom
there's anything
Command
wrong
Tower.
with that.
Yeah, I feel like those are.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And this is why a lot of the color partner commanders came out, and now we don't do 2-color partner commanders with the other 2-color partners because, yeah, Chrome's busted.
Yeah.
Now Unlimited is not near as good as he is in like CEDH.
I don't know. I mean, a 4/4
He's,
flyer.
I mean, a
with
4/4
haste,
flying
He's
haste for
good.
5 is good. That'll
It
draw you some
draws you
cards.
cards.
Sure, but yeah.
Plus, having access to that guaranteed.
really good.
True. My pick is Ovika Dig Through Time. Actually.
Whoa!
I was hoping somebody would say Ovika, but I would expect Ovika with the Aether grid.
See, I
Because
like
she
that.
makes artifacts.
No, she just makes Phyrexian goblins.
Oh, I thought they were
Oh, I thought
artifacts.
they were
Now, when you
might-
cast
Oh,
a
never mind.
non-creature
That's
spell,
bad.
make
I'm an
X
idiot.
red Phyrexian goblins.
Honestly, I feel like
I thought they were
the Aether
artifacts.
Grid is coming out pretty soon.
I thought they were artifacts.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
doesn't
great.
do a lot. Like I've played it, and it, the 1 or 2 damage kills the small
You can do
creatures.
the Thopter stuff. You can do the Clue stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of
It's
stuff
not
like that. But
awesome.
Ovika and Dig Through Time. Okay, I mean that's a big spell.
Mhm.
Triggers a lot of goblins off of
Yeah,
Ovika.
there's a lot of goblins. I
You
never. I
kind
didn't
of you
think
kind of
about
go your
that.
Spellslinger theme.
I mean, if I've got
you
the
know, your
7
young
mana
Pyromancer
commander,
type stuff.
I'm already going big mana stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
there's
I
that
don't hate it.
that Jink-a-Tex is going in the pack as well.
Jink
So if that
Attacks is
doesn't
great,
get picked,
yeah.
the Echo of Eons
Echo
as
of Eons
well.
is great.
So you just drawing a lot of cards, getting a lot of value off of Ovika. If I'm just
Yeah.
going the big spells route, go big or go home.
Yeah, I thought she made artifacts. I thought they were artifact goblins. Man,
Nah.
that's bad. Never mind.
All right.
All right, Jace, what you got?
We're getting to this pack, and this pack is a doozy, bro. It's not that. It's
a
not.
doozy
It's not
of
a
a day.
It's not a great pack, but I mean, it really is. It's kind of the
Okay.
antithesis of why I like Commander Cube so much.
Okay.
Because there's like a million different ways this pack goes.
Okay,
So
sure.
there's an Alibu, Ancient Witness.
Okay.
A Glamorous Outlaw, Sun Petal Grove, Decree of Pain, Generous Gift, Seaside Citadel, Rogue Rack, Shattered Seraph, Vesuvian Drifter, Drowned Catacomb, Sakashima the Imposter, Fighter Class, Smuggler's Copter, Soul Hoarder, Counterspell, Cultivate, Mystic Monastery, Wonder, Caves of Koilos, and Raga Draga.
Gorgut's boss. Okay.
Gorga's boss.
Interesting.
My first thought is this pack sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this pack is really
Power
not
level of
great.
this pack is not
power
great.
level of this pack is
But
not great. But the fun
There's
level.
some interesting stuff in there to go.
Mhm.
And
So
I mean,
what's-
first picks. There's
I'll tell
definitely
you my
some
first picks.
interesting-
What are your first
My
picks?
slam first picks, Alibu and Smuggler's
God
Copter.
damn it! That's exactly my first pick.
And we're just
Yeah.
hitting the artifact
We're
theme, and
hitting-
we're just
no,
going. We're just going
Artifact
right
Artifact
in it.
creatures.
Yeah.
We're just going right in it.
Smuggler's
Use-
Copter is so good.
Smuggler's
In
this
Smuggler's
limited
Copter is
format,
great.
Use a Libu to
I've
clue the
n-
copter and then give it.
I've
haste.
never seen it not sculpt
Okay.
my hand to be
Mhm.
awesome.
Okay.
And then Alibu is just an awesome commander. I play her in my Jan Jansen deck, in my league deck, and she's also great there. She's just awesome.
Yeah, she's
Awesome
going
card.
into my Brea deck, my Welder deck.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So what
my
are
artifact
your-
creatures deck?
What are your
I
picks,
don't
Derek?
hate it. I don't like Alibu personally.
Whoa.
I
Dissing my girl, man.
I get why she's good, and the thought of playing Alibu and then Copter and immediately giving Copter haste. I mean, she's 5 mana. I don't want to wait that long to cast my Smuggler Copter really for it to.
No,
to
that's
give
not
it
the
haste.
thing. I mean,
But I get it.
I mean, magical Christmas land. It's
Magical
yeah.
Christmas.
You have a
right.
Libu, you play the copter.
Yeah.
You get value immediately.
Right, and that's true, right? And you do get value immediately. But I don't really like
I know
Alibu.
Derek's looking at that counter spell.
I do love Smuggler's Copter, and no, really, I don't take counter spells in Commander Cube very often. I do love Smuggler's Copter though. However, I'm definitely playing Rogue Rack with my
He
Smuggler's
can't even
Copter.
crew the copter.
You can't crew the
Yeah.
copter though.
I know,
Yeah,
I
but
know.
I-
The Rogue is
But I can't pass
is
up
very
Rogue Rack.
sweet.
He's so good.
Another value or relevant pick would be Rogue Rack and Fighter Class
So I was
Ooh,
thinking
that
about
too.
that. I was thinking about that because
because Rogue Rack wears a sword pretty
Yep,
well.
Rogue Rack wears equipment really well. So those were kind of my main picks. The only other thing that I was really looking at is Generous Gift.
Yeah.
Having solid
Removal early
removal
is good.
is really good. But and then of course you have Cultivate. Cultivate's also good. These are kind of my off. But yeah, I think Rogue Rack and Fighter Class or Rogue Rack and Copter is great. Those would probably be. I'd probably end up taking Rogue Rack and the Copter. I love Rogue Rack. I'm kind of biased. Super fun. It's hard because you could end up in 3 colors. You might end up in 2 colors, but and hopefully, right? Hopefully the Fighter Class wheels, and then you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
Right, because there's other good stuff in here. Again, Cultivate, Gift, Alibu, all really good cards. There's multiple lands in here, so if they want fixing, the fixing creatures, right? The Seraph and the
Mhm.
Outlaw.
Them.
If anybody gets in Grixis or in Esper, they're probably taking those because they're fantastic. Fantastic.
Every time I go to cut them, I'm like,
mana fixing.
Nah.
Right. There's a
they're
lot of
crazy.
lands in here, and so I mean mana fixing is really really good in Commander. So I could see potentially fighter class coming back, or one or two of the other decent cards going here. But if Alibu comes back, then obviously I'm just playing Alibu, and then we'll go from there, right? But I'm not her biggest fan. The artifact stuff's kind of cool. I do like artifacts. I do have an artifact deck myself and everything. But yeah, I'm definitely hands down taking the Copter, and then basically any other card in the pack is.
See, Copter is a card I've considered cutting because it's so auto pickable. Like
I could see that.
It's so good.
I could see that because you play Copter in any deck. It's colorless. You play it in any deck. It's limited, so you're gonna be playing more creatures than spells, right? Because that's just the nature of the limited environment. So I could see that. I don't think it's
worth it yet.
I don't think it's that good.
I don't think it's cuttable. I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely valuable.
It's good.
Just making a surprise flyer out of nowhere is very nice, and getting card selection
the card selection's great.
Is very good.
So I do like it. I don't think it's auto pickable. I don't think everybody's gonna take it and everybody's gonna play it, but I could see the.
For me, it's auto pickable. I can understand other people not seeing it that way.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, man.
But okay, so interesting.
Commander Cube. It's definitely one of those things
Yeah.
that you don't think about at first when you start playing Commander, but it's something that the more and more Commander product they make, the more and more packs they make, is something that you kind of want to keep doing without spending the money.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? Again, it's kind of that sunk cost where you build a cube one time and you can slowly upgrade it, obviously, and change cards and stuff like that. But it's not the same as building constant Commander decks or buying new product or upgrading constantly because they're power creeping out all your cards or any of that stuff. And you still get everybody on the same level that wants to play with you, and so
exactly.
There was a month long period, 3 weeks to a month long period where we would cube 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like
I enjoyed it.
It was a fun time. It was definitely a lot.
It's fun. And again, every game's different. Every draft is different. Yeah, I enjoy it. We drafted that one time, and I was like, oh, I really want to build a Mimeoplasm deck, even though I already have a Sultai deck. I already have a Graveyard deck. It was so much fun, right? And
There's definitely been I think at least at this point 6 different decks that have been built because of the Commander Cube.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have expected
a lot of people.
I wouldn't have expected
Sterling's
that
a big
number to be
offender.
that high.
He I think he's made 3 different Commanders because of the Commander Cube.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
So,
yeah, man. So,
what did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
What did we learn?
We learned
today?
that Commander Cube is a unique and great way to play Commander.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Kind of mixes the best of both worlds and limited and Commander, right? So you get the draft format, you get the Commander games, 60 card singleton deck. I will admit, you also, in my opinion, you also see, unless your deck's really built around it, you see more of the cards that you have in the deck when you play Cube, because it's a 60 card deck versus 100, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. Unless you build your regular Commander deck about decking yourself and drawing all your cards or whatever. Yeah. But
someone did build an 80 card Commander Cube deck. That was, I think, the only person who's ever gone over the 60.
80 card. Okay.
I think it was Camden.
Interesting. That seems
bad.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say bad. If you have good enough cards,
it seems
sure. It
long.
Makes it inconsistent, but I mean, if you have the cards for it and they're all playable and they're all good, like why
Why not, man?
I could see it for sure.
All right.
But okay, what else did we learn?
Bomb ski.
The cube's gone through many iterations. Obviously, lots of changes.
It's not a one-time thing. Not a one-time thing.
And I will say that's kind of
fluctuating.
To some people that may seem daunting, where it's like it's not a one-time ordeal.
For me, it's so fun though. Tweaking the cube feels awesome.
There is trial and error. There is, again, you do the first iteration. Oh, the X card is too powerful. Let's take it out. All that jazz. But okay, so any last thoughts before we? Okay, well, Marissa.
Linda, stop throwing shit, man.
But
Something
okay.
about Jace.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So,
Well, this
another
has been-
episode down. This has been Kitchen Table Cable.
This has been Kitchen Table Cable. I've been Jace.
I've been Rafa.
I've been Derek, and comment down below who you voted for during this.
Shut up.
God
Bye.
damn it.
Bye.